Howdy, Possum Patty here. And yes, it has been many, many days since I started my flower-shaped journal, hasn't it? I'm looking up at my calendar, and I believe it was Wednesday, May 31st, that I started working on putting this together. I mean, I started the cover a while back, but I was so excited just to get the wood burning and the painting done, but just putting it together as a journal. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days. But a lot has been going on, life stuff, family stuff, cleaning. I've been cleaning and making that video for my music teacher, and the garden. It's that time of year you have to get outside and do some stuff in the yard. And what else? Just cooking. I baked a lemon pound cake. Gluten-free. Yeah, I don't know, just so much stuff going on this week. But I've tried to do a little every day and get a video out like every other day or something. I think I did the first day, and then I waited a couple of days. I did a little more. Then tonight I want to finish this up. It won't be completely done because you could always add things to it, but I want it all bound together. All bound together, all the signatures sewed in, and at least the front and back cover somewhat completed. Yes. So come on along, let's get it done. Well, I went ahead and tried to distress the edges. This one came out way too dark. And instead of using black, I used purple. And remember, I said that if I collaged a bunch of little bits, I want to put like a translucent paint over the top. So I just kind of schmooed purple everywhere. But the edges came out way too dark on that one. This one, they don't show up that much, so I'm not worried about it. This is how it should look right here. Not like that. And this I went really, really lightly, but I wanted to get all the edge painted. So, right way, wrong way, right way, wrong way. So I was going to upload this video last night, and I never finished. It was a busy day. We had to run out, do an errand. I mixed up my gold dry gouache here. And then we were going to go to the beach today because it's 90 degrees. But then Mr. Possum said, oh, they're forecasting pop-up thunderstorms and some could be severe. And he said the next rainy day he would dust. Well, if he dusts, then I vacuum while he's dusting to sort of get up all the dust that he flings everywhere when he dusts. But go around behind him and vacuum. But I decided to wash the wood floors in the living room and the kitchen because I haven't done that in like forever. So I spent some time cleaning, and of course you got to vacuum the cat. How am I going to do this? Maybe a sponge? And then oh, that's interesting. That sponge doesn't even want to pick it up. Then by late afternoon, there was a lot of rumbles of thunder to the north. Oh, that'll help all that dark purple there, right? And then it was time to cook dinner. Well, this will get the most gold because it's got the most purple. Oh, and in the middle of the afternoon, taking my break from my vacuuming. Today is National Donut Day in the US. And I just happen to have one gluten-free donut left in the freezer. So I got that out, had my donut with my cup of tea in the afternoon. I just couldn't have all that perfect scrapbook paper there. I just had to do something. And I'll probably add some cutouts or something on here anyway. All right, so I'm going to go around and finish this, the edges. And then while that's drying, I have to go find 2 pieces of mailing envelope or something sturdy to bind the journal all together. And then I was thinking about material to hold this, to cover up the Tyvek. I never have any kind of luck using paper to hold together a book because it just, I don't know, it doesn't stretch well enough, I guess. Put some more Mod Podge on. I'm trying to get this to dry now because, you know, the gouache is water soluble, and if this gets wet, it'll just come off. And so while I'm putting another layer of Mod Podge on, I'm thinking, I wonder if I could put a bird on there and if it will show up or not. So I am just going to take this scrap of the same paper and this little napkin bird. And I will Mod Podge it on there, and I can always make a tag or something out of it afterwards. See, I wasn't sure if it would show up on the black. So I'll dry this and then we could see how it looks. Okay, it's kind of subtle, but kind of cool. I don't know. I think I'm going to just keep playing. And this is the back. The black was to be the back. I've got a lot of these napkins. They're from the Dollar Tree. Is this big enough to do the whole thing? But then you won't see the gold around the edge. I could just cut out birds and put them here and there. Now I'm going to put these birds down with some matte medium. And this is probably not the last layer that I'm going to put on here. Although I've got like 3 layers on there already, or 4. Got gesso and scrapbook paper and matte medium and gold gouache. Because I'll probably wind up putting some words or fairy or something on here. Now we like wrinkles, but we don't like air bubbles. And you got to do this gently because it's only tissue paper and it will rip. Although that's not the end of the world. But if I think of something else to put on here, you know, I'll probably do that too. So I was thinking while I was using matte medium to put these down, that the gold is fairy dust. See, now if I thought of that earlier, everybody won't be like, why is she doing that? Because I could have explained, and now let's add some fairy dust. Bling! I know it's dark and the front is light, but that's okay. That's okay. It's kind of an interesting design. I put like one bird going from each petal. All right, let's get this together. I've got the front, the flower will go on here. I've got the back, the flower will go on there. And I've got the spine, which is going to wind up getting covered up. So I don't know why I put paper. I really just wanted the paper on the edges, but oh well. So I'm going to line these up. Now this is a piece of a mailing envelope, which is made from Tyvek, which is sort of like a paper with fibers in it. It's very strong and very flexible, and I love to use it to hold this spine to the front and back covers because it is flexible. I tend to save a bunch of old mailing envelopes and pull them out when I'm making a journal. Now I am going to put this on the front and on the back. I think I am, yes. And I am going to use some of this beacon glue. Not everything sticks to this Tyvek. I don't know why. I want to get a good amount of glue on here because this is part of the book that functions, opens and closes. And you want this part to be strong and flexible. Strong and flexible. Okay, I don't want them right up against each other. You want just a little bit of a gap, tiny, tiny thumbnail space there so that it has room to open and close. And this is going to get covered up with some material. I try to leave the same amount of space in the front and the back, but that doesn't always happen. Now if you turn it over, see, you can make sure that that gap is not too big, and that is like way too big. You can never tell from the other side. This is something you have to check. You don't want too much of a gap because then it gets too floppy. You want just the right amount. And especially if the edge of the cover is not perfectly straight, it gives you a little leeway there. Do I want Tyvek on both sides? You know, I'm going to do that because the covers are heavy with the wooden flowers, and I just think it's going to need a strong spine to stand up to everything. Okay, I left the edge a little bit shorter because I wanted to see this paper there. And sometimes it's good if you can get a little bit of that and going into the gap. I'm trying to think about which scrap of material I want to use to cover the outside and the inside. I was thinking about the black and white for the inside because I have birds and flowers. And then the outside, I was thinking of something bright. I kind of like this. Well, it's not going to be all the way over to the flower. It's just going to be enough to cover that. But you're still going to see it, I think. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered with the paper, right? I think the material is going to cover that all up. I could do it. I could do it. Doesn't matter. doesn't matter. Now the material I like to make just a little bit bigger than the Tyvek. And the Tyvek is overlapping about 3/4 of an inch. I think usually I do it about 1/2 inch. I decided to go a little bit further out this time. Well, maybe I'll just make this right up to that, but I think it's still going to. All right, let's overlap. Overlapping. That looks about right. And I will make this the same size, just so a little bit of the material pokes up at the top and the bottom. Right about there. Now I've been playing with the back cover and I came up with an idea. And as soon as I got this all set so I can let it go dry, I'll show you what I've been doing with that. Now I think I'm going to use this and hope it sticks. Craft Permanent Bond. Because it does a really nice job with material, but I might just put a bead of wet glue along the edge. So this is just like Fabri-Tac. Well, not just like Fabri-Tac. The formula is slightly different for using on foam, but it's the same company. Titi's trying to get in my lap. Again with the finger. Wow, I made that really. really overlap there. Oh, I didn't put any glue on that part. That's all right. Could do that after. Okay, so this is going to be about like this. Do the back with the permanent bond. Okay, this is the outside. And for the inside, I was thinking about this. I can use the same. I can use these nice bees. Sunflowers. I don't want anything to match. I want it all to be, well, you know, birds and flowers and butterflies and just everything, everything, everything. you're not going to see much of it. It's not going to be a big deal. So I think I'm just going to use the sunflowers. I think I'm going to use the sunflowers or the black. Decisions, decisions. All right, just go with something. I feel like I've been working on this all week. Oh wait, I have been working on this all week. I know all this doesn't match and doesn't go. But you know, Mother Nature doesn't say, well, you know, this bird over here is going to have to match that flower over there. And I've got to make sure that the butterfly is going to coordinate with the rose bush over there. And I don't want to mix up the sunflowers with the peonies because, you know, they just don't go, you know, Mother Nature doesn't do that. Everything goes with everything else. Okay, let's let this dry. My really strange idea here was to go dark, dark, dark on the back flower. And I put a black napkin and then I put some flower napkins on there. And it's, oh, this came off up here already. Yeah, I know, it kind of doesn't look like much. But most of it is going to get covered with this, like that. So you only see this, and just a very slight hint of a flower in there. And what this is going to be on the back is the night garden. And I do have my night fairies that I made, if you remember these tags. If not, I will link it below. And the night fairies are going to be on the back cover. I'm going to put one right there. I love that. Look at that. So now you can see the flowers a little bit better when I bring that up close. So it's like really dark out, and there's the night flowers, and here's the night fairy. And there's the moon, and that's going to go on the back. And the back is not that dark, but I think that's okay for a cover, for the back cover. The flowers are on a black background, and there's just a shadow of these hummingbirds. Now, the special thing is my trail cam, my stealth cam that I have outside for the night creatures, did actually capture a hummingbird at night at one of the hummingbird feeders. Now, isn't that amazing? And then the front will be for the daytime fairies. So I'm going to put a daytime fairy on the front of the journal over here. So I have all my daytime fairies here. Ooh, I love the colors on that one. Oh, they're a little bit big, aren't they? But that's okay. Maybe I can put her in a pocket. I got some more. This one's a little smaller. I might just paste that one on just like that. So that'll be my daytime fairy. So I'm loving these colors here. See the green and the red? Bring it up close. The green and the red on the bird and on her wings. And then the night fairy will be over here on the back. And most of this you won't even see. And now I've got to put the signatures in. And I think I'm going to do that before I add my fairies. And I'm almost thinking that I'm going to sew them in before I put these big flower cookies on here. What do you think? Get them all sewn in. Or should I do the big cookies first? Well, maybe I want to do this first, because you know what? I might have to put some weights on this because the back cardboard piece is a little warped. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I've got all the ideas. I got all the pieces. Move the fairies out of the way. So maybe I will just go ahead and I'm going to throw a little glue down on this. And oh, I know why I want to do the signatures first. All right, let me back up. Because once I get the signatures in there and they're all sewn in, it doesn't go like that. Come on, Possum Patty, it goes like that. Then I can judge about where to put this, so that they're kind of lined up. They're not going to be exact. I'm not worried about exact, but they'll kind of be lined up like that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I take a piece of paper that is the exact size of the spine, and that is a little big because I measured it from the outside. I wonder if I should cut it down a little bit. No, I think it'll be fine. All right, I'm going to take a sliver off. Tolerance. When you're engineering, you got to think about tolerance. Okay, so I have a piece of paper, the exact size of the spine on the inside of the journal, and I'm going to put 3 signatures in. So that means I have to fold this twice, and I will get 3 creases on which to line up my signatures. And where's my piled everything over there. Okay, I was looking for my bone folder because this is cardstock. You don't have to use cardstock. I just happen to have a scrap handy. Any old scrap paper will do. Alright, so if you fold it twice, you will get 3 creases. And then if you fold it this way, now you know where the center stitch is going to be for each of these signatures. Now all you have to do is plan where you want the top and bottom stitch to be. And these papers are all the same exact size, so maybe I'll come in, ooh, I don't know, let's see, where's the ruler? I'm going to judge about, maybe 1/2 inch from the top and 1/2 inch from the bottom on each of these. I'm going to do the three hole pamphlet stitch because that is the easiest. So we get the top, and the bottom, and the middle. So this is my template, and I just take some some washi tape. Got some washi tape here. Make sure I've got it in the center. I could do it like this. And then I have to go to the closet and get my hole punch. Okay, now I want to make sure your paper is lined up with the top or the bottom or something, because that's how you're going to be measuring the signatures. I keep a couple pieces of thick corrugated cardboard around just for doing things like this. I'm going to throw some of this stuff on the floor. Oh, and I made a moth for my night garden. Where's the night garden? Oh, here's the night garden. I painted it silver. This is one of those wood laser cuts from the Dollar Tree. And I bought these little acrylic boxes, and I love them because each compartment, each box has 3 compartments, and each compartment is a perfect size for these laser cuts. So what I did was I bought a few of these, and since I took all the scraps off the desk and moved them to the floor, I figured I can get out some other fun supplies and put them in these clear containers and keep these on the desk, so I'll use them. Because you know what happens when you organize everything and put it away in the closet. Forget about it. All right. Back to business here. Getting ready to punch holes. Zoom. And just go through. Oh, this is some thick cardboard. I gotta move my scissors. I got a lot of stuff on the table because I was painting that moth, and I could only find one of them. So I'm wondering if I stuck the other moths, because it should be 3 come in a set, or if I have them somewhere else. No matter how many times I measure and tape and do all that stuff, they always come out a little bit crooked. But, you know, that's Possum Perfect, so we don't worry about that. All right, now, so this goes aside, and my 3 signatures come back. And then for each one, well, first I'm going to check them, see if they're how I want them. I think I did this already. I just didn't want 2 of the same colors together. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, there was a variety of colors, which I'll probably get mostly covered up anyway, but all right, I think we're good. So if you notice, I used all plain pages. Somebody had remarked about me covering up my beautiful background pages, and I'm like, I know. I keep thinking I really need to just use some plain paper in the background, because things wind up getting covered up all the time. All right, I'm going to put a clip somewhere. I'll put a clip there. Kind of hold those together. And then I take my template, which is over there. And so this will be the 3rd signature, so I'm going to use this crease here in the back. And I could tape that down. I'll get some smaller tape, I think. Just so it doesn't move around. I'm just going to put it there. Oh, wait. Got to line it up. And I lined the book up with the top, so I'm going to line the cover of the journal up with the top, so I'm going to line it up there. and just poke it through. This is easier because this is just the signature. Sometimes the cover's a little hard. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the next two. You can use just about anything to sew in signatures. 1, 2, 3. Usually need about 3 lengths or so, depending on how long you want your dangles to be, if you want dangles at all. And a blunt needle, like an upholstery needle, and a needle threader. So I am using some embroidery floss. You could use baker's twine. The real stuff is called waxed thread. I use this in a lot of the journals. I'm down to a few pieces of scrap. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some embroidery floss. And this is just a variegated color. And I usually start at the back and make sure everything is going in the right direction. And these are even in the right direction. Now they're not all perfect, and we're not concerned about that. I'm looking for my holes here, and I'm gonna start in the middle. And where am I going to put my dangles? Yeah, I'm going to put my dangles on the outside. I'll leave my thread dangling on the outside this time. I think the last time I left the threads on the inside. So I got to go to the middle. Easy when you have pre-punched holes. And then I'm going to the bottom. And all the way to the top. There's a hole there. I know there is. Sometimes you miss a page, but that's okay. Just pull it out. There we go. Now you just have to remember to get everything tight if you're going to do that. And back through the middle. And you do not want to go through the middle of the thread that's already there. You want to make sure that's over to the side. Okay, now I know it's kind of messed up because it came loose. So I'm just going to look inside to make sure I have it tight. Nobody loves a wobbly signature. Nobody. So pull on those threads. I know it's hard to do all this on the camera. I'm knocking everything all over too. All right, take the needle off. So you got one dangle that was there, and now you've got another thread you just pulled out. So you want one on each side like that. You don't want it through. You want one on each side. And see how loose that is? That is a no, 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 no. We don't want that at all. All right, so I'm going to hold this. Let's see. Pull that. I'll pull that. Pull that. I'll pull it tight. Let's see how we're doing now. Okay, we're quite a bit tighter now. Oh, I see. See, I went through that green thread and I didn't want to do that. See, if that happens, you are just not going to get it correct. So let's see if I can fix that. Did that fix that? Oh yes, beautiful. See, that was my problem. You want to make sure you're not going through any of the thread that's already there. I know this looks like a lot of fussing, but this is where you need another hand. I'm sorry, I got to come over to my lap because I don't have another hand. Okay, I'm going to pull that pretty tight. I got to be careful how tight you pull it, though. I have snapped this embroidery floss, all 6 strands. Yeah, pulling it tight on the signature like this, so just be careful, but get it tight. Okay. Now, this is possible to be taken out, all right? So I've tied it 3 times. I tried to make it tight as I could, but if I had to, I could pull it apart and tighten that up again. But I am going to trim it to about there. That signature is in there, and I'm going to go do it 2 more times. All 3 signatures are sewn in, and they are nice and tight, no wobbles. Very good, Possum Patty. Now, let's see. I need to clear the needles off the table and make some room to glue down. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this opens up. Sometimes I save these little templates, but you know, unless I find the exact same size spine with the exact number of signatures, like maybe usually the little golden books, then, you know, it might not get used again. Mr. Possum gave me that so I wouldn't poke myself. Always looking out for me. Well, all I have to do now is get the front cover and the back cover flowers on here, and then when they dry, then I will finish up the inside a little bit. I'll put in my day fairy and my night fairy. See, I wanted to put in the signatures so that I would know where to place this, and that's looking pretty good, isn't it? Looking pretty good. That's what it's going to look like on this side. I'm going to try and get this so that the edges of the front cover don't poke out at all. As always, I'm reaching across, sorry. Putting some things out of the way. Painting. Mr. Possum leaves little presents for me on the table, and this is one of them. I guess he used all the stamps up and he left me this little sticker part to use in a junk journal. Thank you, Mr. Possum, for that. Sometimes it might be stickers from like a banana, something like that. Okay. Now this has got to go so that the points don't show, and that is there, and it's in line with all the flowers. And how am I going to know where to put the glue? Well, all of this is going to get glued and part of this and part of this. All right, maybe I can mark it with a pencil. So I can put a little pencil mark. So I know where to put all the glue. Now, which glue? I'd like to use maybe the beacon glue. And I think I will put a piece of paper like that. I'm so excited. This has been going on for days because I've been doing other things. I don't know why this glue is so hard to come out. I'm going to spread it around a little bit. All right, goes this way. And I've got my lines. If I move this, I can see what I'm doing. Okay, that looks about right. And I am going to, for right now, put these clamps. And put this down on the floor. To dry. You know what, I think I'll put the back on, and then I'll put this down on the floor with something on it to see if I can get this to dry on here. Well, I've got these weighed down. I left them for a little while. They might not be totally dry, but safe enough to do this. All right, do I have enough room here? Now this is going to be one of those journals where I'm going to have to go like this, right? All right, let me take off some clamps and check it out. Now while I was waiting for this to dry, I thought of another idea. And remember, I was just going to take the night fairy and put her on here. Well, now I'm thinking it's the flower fairies, and the flower fairies need some flowers to live in. So I'm thinking I'm going to make a pocket the shape of a moonflower on the back, and then she will live in there. Take this clamp off. And then I'm going to make a flower on the front. And the daytime fairy will live in there. So I'll make a little flower pocket for her. And I'll make a little flower pocket for the other one there. And then, and then I'm sure I'll think of more things. But that might be it for now. But anyway, now I have a journal. I actually have a journal in the shape of a flower. Front cover. This took me a while to do too. Back cover. Oh. The back cover is going to get the moth on the back cover. Maybe something else too, because that's the daytime and nighttime. Inside cover, like I said, it's probably going to get a flower, maybe like a little corner tuck or side tuck, or half a flower down here. Some kind of flower for that fairy to live in. And every page is a flower shape. All my signatures sewn in. And then I'm going to make a flower back here. Will this ever get done? Doesn't matter. But at least I can journal in it now. So all I have to do is a few more pages in my spring journal, my little golden book spring journal. So, let me know what you think. Think about the journal and think about how long it took me to do. Well, that's because I just only had a few minutes every day. So, but it does stand up. Even though it's a flower shape, it does stand up, and it will go on the shelf with all the other journals. So thanks for coming along today, and happy junk journaling, and thanks for sticking in there for days and days and days till I got at least this much done. Bye-bye now.